So me and you do something that I've discovered is, it seems to be fairly universally hated, yet it's something that we both do quite a lot and enjoy.
Yeah, that's not new though. So what do we do that's really hated?
We leave ridiculously long voice notes for each other, which I like. When I get a voice note, I'm basically thinking, thank you for doing me the courtesy of not actually phoning me.
That's how I see it. That's how I see it. I would never take a call.
No,
I do not want to take a call from you. I don't want to chat on the phone, but I do want to talk. People get really cross about it.
they are universally hated. And the thing that people always say is, oh God, I haven't got time to listen to your message. And it's like, if you haven't got 30 seconds to, or in our case, if you haven't got 7 minutes to listen to a voice note, that's not a voice note issue. That's a you're too busy issue.
But also, I don't consume voice notes. Like, I don't sit at the kitchen table with a notepad and think, right, I've got to sit and listen to this. I'm kind of walking around with my phone and I'm listening to it as I'm doing other stuff. So it's like having company while I load the dishwasher or something. I listen to them like I would listen to a podcast, like out and about and on the move. And if somebody's left me a voice note, and also, I don't know if you do this with my friends, and I include you in this, it is like a running commentary. So I will be responding to a voice note that I have been left. And I think the people who don't like voice notes aren't getting funny ones. You can leave funny voice notes. They don't have to be boring. They can be, you won't fucking believe what has just happened. Those are great. Guess what's really pissed me off? Those are the ones I really love from my friends. Like, can I just have your attention? Somebody's really pissed me off. This is what I mean. Like, they can be gossip. It's brilliant.
Listen, the whole point of banging on about voice notes is that you can now WhatsApp Sniper's Alley. That was a very long-winded way of getting to this point, which is plugging the phone number.
And people who don't like voice notes may never leave a voice note. You can just send, but please leave a voice. We love them.
Yeah, and if you do, we might use them on the podcast. So if you don't want us to use it, please make that apparent. It's a really, really memorable number. It's 07488 It's like, what's the swap? 01811 8055.
What those adverts? Rob will dance in the advert.
No, that's Swap Shop, not fucking Babe Station or whatever you're thinking of.
Yeah, I was thinking of that. I was thinking of the late night lines.
Saturday Superstore, 018118055. But yeah, the numbers on the podcast description, it's on the website as well in the contact bit. But do send us stuff, whether it's relating to, what did we talk about in the first episode? Having a massive head. And like me at Christmas, when the crackers come out and you get that sinking feeling because you know you're going to have to put on a party hat and it's going to go the minute it tries to get on your ridiculously sized head. What else could people comment on? James's interview, the prostate
I was
cancer
going to
interview.
say, send us a message about James's interviews, anything that kind of resonated with you. If you've had a similar experience, we'd really love to hear from you. We really want to spread the word about this.
Absolutely. And I think the thing is that the idea is that Sniper's Alley is a two-way street. You can't have a one-way alley, can you? There you go.
No, exactly. We're all in Sniper's Alley together, dodging bullets. Send us your messages. Send us what you'd like us to cover. Any health issues that you've got that you'd like us to cover that have come up in your 50s. Big, little, whatever. Anything that's kind of hit you in Sniper's Alley.
But eventually, obviously it's early days, but eventually I just want to have loads and loads of people's voicemails that we can play out. And we should mention that our next guest, so we're not going to have guests every week, but our next guest that we do have, who'll be on the next episode, is Sarah, who is, oh, well, you know Sarah best.
Well, I know Sarah. Sarah is a nutritionist, but that almost underplays her. She's, I would say, like maybe a modern day witch.
Oh, Jesus. Sorry. She's not going to come on now, is she?
She's Sarah. I mean, in terms of
modern
like,
day witch.
She's a healer. She's amazing. She is. I'm very evangelical about Sarah. She's brilliant on all kinds of subjects like anxiety. She's brilliant on weight gain. She's brilliant on all of these issues. But the issue that we are going to talk to her about is sleep.
Sleep. I remember sleep. It used to be nice.
Your sleep is so terrible. So had a terrible night's sleep one night, and I told Rob about my terrible night's sleep, and Rob said that would be a good night for me.
What I did was I listened to your problem. I made it about me. And that's how it should be.
I've never told you ever again about,
No,
about my
and you've
night's sleep.
never again bothered me with your problem.
No,
So
I mean,
it
but
worked.
I've had periods of my life where I've had terrible sleep. And so I really empathize, because when somebody comes along and goes, oh God, I'm really tired, and you haven't slept for 4 years, you're a little bit like, whatever. So we're going to talk to Sarah about sleep. We're going to come at it from your perspective, obviously male, my perspective, obviously female, because it is a perimenopause symptom, but also there are a lot of reasons as to why somebody doesn't sleep. There can be other reasons other than hormonal. So we're going to cover all of that.
So if you've got a question about sleep for Sarah, it's 07488 275 894, the world's least memorable phone number. You can email hello@snipers-alley.co.uk, or on Instagram with Snipers Alley Podcast. But do get in touch, and then we'll put the questions to Sarah, because she is genuinely brilliant. And if she's listening to this, not an actual witch.
She's amazing. That's all we need to know. We're very lucky to have her coming on. She's brilliant. And if she's willing, we could get her back for anxiety. We can get her back for weight gain. I think weight gain is a big issue for a lot of people in the Snipers Alley. It is the decade where it kind of sort of all slightly catches up with you.
Now, it's funny you should talk about weight gain, because for the benefit of the listening public, I'm wearing a loose-fitting shirt today, which is from, I have on the left-hand side of my wardrobe, I've got my maternity range. And that is where we find my weight at the moment, is just edging into the left-hand side of the wardrobe where the loose kind of baggy stuff is. And this is partly, well, there's two reasons behind it, but knackered the back for 2 months, so couldn't exercise really, but also have kind of rediscovered drinking, having not drunk, literally not drunk a drop for nearly 8 years.
Wow.
And it's crept back in over the past 6 months, year or so.
We should talk about booze.
We were going to talk about booze, yeah, because it's one of the few topics I feel I can talk with authority on, because it's been quite a major influence and disruptor of my life, I would say.
So I was thinking about this with Gen X, because so we're recording this probably about 2 or 3 weeks after the Steve Bartlett kind of thing of him saying he had 3 drinks and it ruined his life, and everybody kind of laughing at him. And it kind of got me thinking about the generational differences in their attitudes towards drinking, because we came of age when they totally changed the drinking laws, didn't they? So Tony Blair changed pub openings. So pub openings used to be like pubs. Do you remember they used to actually close for the afternoon, so they didn't do all day drinking?
That's funny. I've not thought about that for a long time, but yeah.
So we came of age kind of around, I think it was around probably the time we were at university, or late teens, early 20s, and the pubs could open all the time, and they kept billing it as we will be like the Europeans who sort of, we weren't. We carried on with our Northern European attitude to drinking, which is, we're going to go out at 11 and we're going to go home at 11. We're going to sit in the pub for 12 hours. And we absolutely, and like you, and I think we kind of recognize this in each other, I was an early adopter of binge drinking. I kind of, but I absolutely love drinking, and I love going out drinking, and I love being with friends drinking, and I loved coming home from work and having drinking. I would go out for one. Yeah, I'm just going to go for one. I'm just going to go for one on a Thursday night. And then I'd be staggering into work the next day, really hungover in the same clothes, absolutely reeking, that kind of thing. It was just, it was absolutely how we lived in the 90s, and that was kind of thing. And so I think it still really surprises us that young people don't drink like we did when we were young, because I don't think that they do drink like that anymore.
I don't know whether it's every generation kind of the drinking goes down a bit, because I would say, your boomers, they put it away.
Apparently that is still the age group that drinks the most frequently. So the younger generation still kind of into their binge drinking, and the older generation drinking not binge drinking, but drinking most frequently and most often. So they're probably doing more little and often. So they're most likely to be drinking on a weekly basis. But yeah, so they say that Gen Z don't drink. Mentioning my son again, he does drink. He is a drinker, but it's not unusual for him to have friends in his social circle who don't drink. But it's really expensive for them to drink. We could get a pack of 20 Marlboro Lights and a couple of pints for under a tenner.
Easy money. Yeah, easy.
We had drinks come round on a Friday at 5
Yeah,
o'clock.
the Friday drinks. Yeah. We had that as well.
I worked as a barmaid. It was the best job.
I didn't know that.
I mean, I loved it. It probably won't shock you to learn I was known as being quite grumpy, but honestly, I absolutely loved it. I loved working in a pub. I loved pub life. I loved drinking.
Where was that then? Whereabouts were you?
In Colchester. Where I grew up. Yeah. So I was in the Hole in the Wall and then in the Lamb, and then I'd work at student bars and all that kind of stuff. So yeah.
It just reminded me, there's a pub so I grew up in Darlington in the northeast, and there's a pub in Darlington called the Hole in the Wall. I've no idea whether it's still there, but it was another hole in the wall.
I think there's only two in the country, in fact.
There you go.
Honestly, I really do. Yeah,
right.
yeah,
well,
yeah.
The other one was in Darlow, and the famous thing about the Hole in the Wall was that if you went in and you ordered half a pint, then somebody would come over to you and offer you weed. Because that was the code. Because nobody drank half pints.
When we started drinking, there were some pubs that wouldn't serve me a pint. Like the ladies were not allowed to drink pints.
That's nuts, isn't it?
Yeah. So I was thinking about this, about the changes in drinking, and so you've stopped drinking but started again.
I'm sort of a bit of a crossroads, and like I say,
is it getting you fat?
I've put on over half a stone.
Yeah, just from booze. Yeah,
booze and this kind of couple of months when my back was done in, but it's enough for me to think about just jacking it in again, because I just don't think it's the risk to reward, isn't it? And I'll be honest, a lot of it is vanity as much as anything else. Because I look back at the photos of me when I was a proper boozer, and I've got the puffiest face you've ever seen.
Face.
Got the real drinker's fat face, yeah. And it was weird because when I stopped drinking altogether, I thought, I'm going to feel so good. Like I was such a boozer. And that kind of waking up in the morning with a smile and skipping to work or whatever.
I'm a new person.
Yeah, it never happened at all. But it's such a gradual thing. But I do look back at photos and think you fucking look really unhealthy.
So I was telling you that I can't eat late.
Yes.
And I had that roast dinner at sort of 8:30 or something, and I was like a snake that had eaten a pig. And that pig just, like when you see on nature programs, and there's a kind of, and that the snake just lies there digesting it. And I couldn't sleep because it's kind of almost like my body was saying, look, I can do one thing, I can digest this food, but I can't get you off to sleep. It's a choice between one or the other. Like I can process what you've eaten. The same for me with alcohol now. It's like my body says, I can break down this alcohol. My liver can do all of the things that it needs to do. But if you're thinking that you're going to be able to sleep while I'm doing this job for you, no chance. It's again like I've taken dirty speed at 11 o'clock at night or something, or I've had, 4 espressos or whatever. I will lie there the whole night going over, like catastrophizing everything and thinking about what I've got to do the next day and how I'm not going to be able to do it. And I just sit there like the self-hatred, the loathing, the anxiety now when I drink as well is just off the scale. And it felt like it happened overnight. It felt like I turned 50 and a little switch was flicked in my brain, and it was, you can no longer drink and enjoy yourself.
Is this like a sort of known perimenopause thing, or?
Yeah, it is definitely a perimenopausal symptom that you can no longer drink. There are loads of us who are just like, no. So I probably haven't drunk for about 2 years. Yeah, so it was pretty much when I turned 50 overnight. And it's a real shame because I love sitting and having a glass of wine with people. So for me, I didn't stop drinking because I felt like it had got out of control, or that I couldn't drink, or that I didn't want to. But yeah, I am now somebody who doesn't drink. And you know what they call it as well? It makes me feel a little bit like I'm going to be sick in my mouth. It's called being sober curious.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh,
Where did that come from? I've not heard that
It's
before. Sober curious.
terrible. I think it came from dry January. I think it's a marketing thing. Not to be confused with dry Fanduary, which is also a perimenopause symptom. But but that's a it's anyway, yeah, I think it comes from, there's something to look forward to, Rob. I think it comes from from dry January, and it's a marketing, and it's like, are you feeling sober curious? Oh, stop it.
That's hideous.
No. So for me, it wasn't about being sober curious. It was about heart-stopping anxiety. The world is coming to an end. I feel absolutely sick just from having like a lovely glass of Carver.
And that's why I think it's a good topic for Snipers Alley, isn't it? Because I think your attitude to it does change at this point in life. Like you said, you had the kind of light switch at 50 where it kind of flicked off. And I'm currently, when I say like I'm back drinking now, it's probably like 4 cans of beer split across a week. In my heyday, it's what I would have considered not drinking at all. That's literally, I would consider like 4 or 5 beers a week teetotal. But I think it's going to be vanity that keeps me from getting back on that horse, I think.
So I looked it up. So apparently 28% of Gen Z don't drink. So what, nearly a third? Yeah. So you're pushing up into, but I've got loads of sympathy for that. So I think, I mean, maybe because they're trying to be healthier, maybe it's all of that kind of thing, but also it's so expensive. I think when we talk about generational differences and things like that, we're not taking into account, we had a totally different work culture. We had all of these kids are having to work from home, or they've got different work culture. So I don't want to be judgy on anybody, any younger generation who aren't drinking. It's totally, we might be the same.
Yeah. And I just wonder if it's just because you get to Snipers Alley and you start, I think you do become hyper aware of health things. And I don't want this, the idea of this podcast isn't to scare the shit out of everyone, but I think it's a common, I mean, you know what it's like. If you meet someone new that's roughly your age, you get onto health within about 4.5 seconds.
Yeah. It's first thing, updating your spreadsheet on what people have got wrong with them.
Yeah, it's like instant. It's like, very nice to meet you. What do you do? Well, I can't do a lot because of my gout. Do you know what I mean? It just, something like crops up really quickly. And I think because you are hyper aware, you are trying to minimize the things that could come back and bite you on the arse. And I wonder if drinking comes into that.
I do feel like the choices you make now about your health, so the choices that I make now about my health are not to feel healthy. They're just not, it's so I don't feel terrible. Like the dream of now feeling healthy and feeling great and feeling brilliant, that was for Emilie in her 30s. She never got there because she was drinking and, whatever. But for me now, I have to do yoga every day because otherwise my body is like a wooden door. It's so stiff and it's so sore and all that sort of thing. So I'm not doing yoga to look or feel brilliant. I'm doing it to not feel terrible. And that's the way I feel about drinking. Like I can't drink now because it makes me feel terrible. So I haven't given up drinking because I want to feel great. I've given up drinking because I don't want to feel terrible.
I'd be really interested to hear people's views on this, because obviously we can only talk about our own experiences.
So you stopped. I don't want to ask kind of, because it's not that kind of, we're not trying to fix the world here, but was there a thing that made you stop, or did you just think, right, that's it, I've had enough?
Things got a bit dark.
Yeah.
And I won't say any more than that, because here's a nice thing about Gen X. We don't have to share everything. Yeah,
that's not our thing. See, I was going to talk to you about this, about my theory, and you're touching on it now, but we'll save it for another day, of my theory about why millennials are different to us. And it's kind of that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So nice tease. Yes, had I been 10 years younger, this podcast would be called Why I Gave Up Drinking.
It absolutely would. And this is not what we're going to talk about. We're just going to know that it all got a bit dark and he stopped drinking. That's all you need to know about him. Fill in the gaps.
But no, yeah, things got a bit dark. Use your imagination. And it was just like, I've got to.
Yeah.
And all I remember is I'd about 3 or 4 weeks of constant migraines. Well, not migraines, just really bad headaches.
What, after you gave up?
After I gave up. And but roughly the same as if you drink a bit of coffee and then you don't drink coffee for a week. It's that kind of shitty feeling. And devouring sweet shit.
Yeah, that's like my husband. He has to replace the sugar if he's not drinking.
Yeah, cookies, biscuits, sweets. So that crept in. Then it took a while to get rid of that. But it was a kind of, this can't continue.
Oh.
And it didn't. And then 2 or 3 years of pretty much constant therapy and everything's fine. Really, that's the short story version. But it kind of, that's basically it.
And how we laugh.
And everything's fine now.
Everything's fine.
But I will plug the. In fact, I won't read out the number again because it's
go to the website. Go to the website and contact us.
Do go to snipers-alley.co.uk.
Because we really genuinely would like to know that there are other people like this.
Next episode, we're going to have the wonderful Sarah on. So do get in touch if you've got any questions for her about sleep. You
know, you look at some of the health issues that come from not getting a decent night's sleep. This isn't a small thing, you know. This is an important pillar of your health. So let's talk about it and let's get it fixed.